can say it's just...
Hello.
Hi.
Allie was singing Chapel Roan. I think some of that got picked up.
Good luck, babe.
Welcome back once again to Wheel Takes, a podcast about the Wheel of Time, a series of fantasy novels written by Robert Jordan. And the last ones were co-written by Brandon Sanderson. My name's Gus. I've read all of them.
And I'm Allie, and I am working on it. I am on book 12.
12?
Chapter 8.
8.
Woo!
This podcast
I did that without looking.
only contains spoilers for what Allie's already read. And today, again, that is everything up to and including The Gathering Storm, Chapter 8, which is called Clean Shirts.
Now, if you're asking yourself, is it so noteworthy that she gets it right without looking that she needed to point that out? The answer is yes.
Yes, it is.
I never know what's going on.
We have been out of town for a minute. Last you heard from us, we were at Malkiri Con. We're back now. We are mostly over the jet lag.
Mostly.
It's 9-hour difference for us because we're on the West Coast. And you know what? I had a whole ass good time in Europe. Did you have a good time in Europe?
Oh my God, I love Europe.
I
so
love
much.
going to Europe. It's a
Take
great
us back.
town, continent. A lot of fun. Highly recommend. Shout out to Europe, I guess, as a concept. We're here, though. We're here today. We're here to talk about Chapter 8, Clean Shirts, which we actually read like a fucking month ago.
We did.
And I haven't thought about in a minute.
Yep.
So we're going to see how this one goes.
I
think
could be interesting.
this one is going to be a lot of fun because if I get to spend time with Allie, then I am having fun. It is the default way of things. I am also going to pull up the synopsis of this chapter so I can remind myself of what happens. I do remember
God.
the
These
lion's
notes are
share
unhinged.
of what happens. The lion's share of what happens being Gareth and Swan don't kiss.
Boo. Well,
I believe your prediction would be Gareth and Swan kiss, which means kiss.
Kiss.
And we have complicated feelings about it, if I recall.
Yep.
Was what you had said.
It is what I had said.
My earphones are fucked up. Allie, can you vamp for a second while I fix my earphones?
Did you know that if you're traumatized by something that Tetris is supposed to help?
That's true. Were you traumatized by this chapter? I don't think so. As I recall, it was a pretty innocuous chapter in the grand scheme of things.
Yes.
But yeah, apparently, if you experience a traumatic event and then you play Tetris within 72 hours, 72 hours?
72 hours.
It can keep your brain from making, like, traumatic flashback memories.
Apparently.
Oh, completely unrelated. Fun announcement. The play that I put up in April is coming back in
Yay.
October. It's called Phoenix. It is taking place in Los Angeles, California, the weekends of October 4th, October 11th, and October 18th. I know some folks, some listeners came to attend last time. It was lovely to meet. And, if folks want to come check it out, tickets are on sale. So
it sold
have a
out
look.
last time.
It did sell out last time.
Get your tickets while they're hot.
So, link down below. It's the same exact show we did last time. Should
and
be
it's
fun.
really good, y'all. There was standing ovations.
We did have
it was
that.
that good.
Yeah, it was. I'm
really,
flattered.
really good. Okay.
So that
I'm
having
not just
been
saying
said,
that as a wife.
we're
saying
gonna-
that as a lover of good theater.
We're gonna dive in here with the question: where did we leave off? I know it's been a second.
I don't. Rand. Rand. Stick with your gut.
Rand.
Rand.
The Aiel and the Sean Chan and peace therewith.
No.
Peace with the Sean Chan. The very same. We know it. We love it. But here we are with Clean Shirts. A rare a swan chap.
A swan chap. There aren't very many of those.
No.
Okay, do you want to hear my
Brandon
notes?
is popping off with the POVs we don't
He's
usually
giving me
get.
everyone I want.
I would love
appreciate
to
that.
hear your notes
Yeah,
for Chapter
okay.
8. By the way, here's a new logo.
I'm trying to get us to notes very quickly.
Go for it.
Because my phone's going to die.
Oh, God.
Wait, but can I look at the logo?
It's mice.
Like Fig's End?
I like Figs and.
Ah.
Figs and mice.
Okay. Gus. Egwene being kidnapped and quite possibly being returned by Elida for being an absolute menace makes me want to know, if someone kidnapped me and then brought me back, why did they bring me back? I've come up with a few reasons. Glad you asked.
Go on, yes.
I had a flare and kept asking him to fill my water jug.
That's good.
I kept singing show tunes, but it was mostly the same song over and over. And by song, I mean the same one lyric that has that one really high note I can't quite hit consistently every time. And I keep practicing over and over until I get better at it. And then when you say something nice about it, I say, it wasn't perfect. I kept comparing him to a doomed Shakespeare protagonist.
Good.
Just menacingly.
Good.
It's like, you just remind me so much of Hamlet right now. You're giving so much McBee. Anyway, I wouldn't stop talking about you.
Me? Yeah.
I wouldn't stop talking about Petey. I wouldn't stop talking about the cats. I wouldn't stop talking, period. I kept asking if I was his favorite of all the people he kidnapped. That one's real. I got him to talk about his daddy issues. I asked him for his sun, moon, and rising sign while assuring him I wasn't that into astrology. Then when he told me he had an Aquarius or Capricorn in his big three, I'd say, that makes sense. I slept so hard he thought I was dead. I kept ranting about some book series he'd never heard of called The Wheel of Time.
That'll do it.
I got too excited about getting to try those self-defense techniques I learned about on TikTok during my crime podcast phase, and he got scared. I kept giving him pointers and constructive criticism due to my aforementioned crime podcast phase, and it made him insecure about his technique. Apparently being kidnapped turns me into all of my parents at the same time, question mark. And lastly, he wasn't a kidnapper. It was actually an Uber, and I'd forgot I'd order one once I was already in the car.
I like this. Hold on. I got it.
I thought those were really good reasons.
Very good. I'm a big fan.
I saw your hesitation to say anything negative about your wife, so I came up with a list for you.
I don't like to do that.
I know. It's one of my top 5 favorite things about you. Anyway, follow-up question. If we were kidnapped, who do you think they'd kill first and why? I already know the answer to this. I think they would want to kill you first because you're bigger, so you seem like the bigger threat, but my loud-ass mouth would get me killed first for sure. This had me on a kidnapping kick.
I guess so.
Is it? Oh no, Beezus is trying to oust Roberta.
Yes,
Roberta
and
being a Ramona and Beezus deep cut.
Here's the thing.
Do you know who Roberta is? Ramona and Beezus?
Yeah.
No, but who is Roberta in Ramona and Beezus? Their third sibling.
Oh my God.
Roberta. She was born during the series. Okay. Ramona thought they should name her Chevrolet.
They could print that? Isn't that copyrighted?
Because it was a beautiful name.
Isn't that shit copyrighted?
I think you're still allowed to talk about them.
Copyrighted as hell? Not us. I'm talking.
I'm not copyright lawyer. I don't know.
I don't know. Sure.
Why do you care what he thinks of you, girly pop?
Oh, Bryne?
And then I went, ooh. Oh, wait, no. This is supposed to be said like this. Why do you care what he thinks of you, girly pop? Ooh. That's how it was supposed to be read. Sorry, I know that Gareth is problematic, but I can't help but root for those two for some reason. I think it's because I'm dickmatized by Bryne. I'm sorry. By
Bryne?
By Gareth Bryne.
Oh,
I think I'm dickmatized. Because, okay, I'm sorry, he did the chin thing.
He did do the chin thing.
He did the chin thing, and then he followed her around the world, which, if he were ugly, would not be cute.
Well, it's not exactly cute. Period.
Okay, but it's the Dahmer-Doppler effect.
Right, that's the tough
Coined by How I Met Your Mother.
Dahmer being Jeffrey Dahmer.
And Doppler being the guy in Say Anything who lifts up the boombox. If a serial killer, creepy-looking guy did that, it would be creepy, but he's hot, so it's fine.
We're talking about
Which is
fiction
not true.
Here. Yes,
Which
we're talking
is not
about
true.
Fiction here.
It's not true, but the heart wants what the heart wants. And he's creepy in love with her, but she has the hots for him, so it's fine. It's not fine in real life, but it is fine in fiction. Okay. The Dahmer-Doppler effect. So, okay. I already said this. They're going to make out. My spidey sense is tingling. I know
likely.
when people are going to smush.
And yet they didn't.
Okay, but it's a matter of time. I know it. Everyone wants to be in the horny Aja at this point.
Everybody in the books.
It's everybody wants to be a cat, but it's like everybody wants to be a green.
The poor white Aja is over here.
The green's the only green. Who can do, you know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Yes.
Everyone knows what I mean.
The poor white Ajay is over here desperately wishing that somebody would tell them what it is they're supposed to be doing so that they could recruit anybody. And meanwhile, the Greens, every young woman
They're like, you want to fuck?
falls
Everyone's
head
like, yes.
over boobies, which I guess is the main way people fall. Remember Elid?
Yes.
I think
love
about
her.
Elid sometimes.
Justice for Ellen.
Elid was a great character. Elid is a character from New Spring. We know almost nothing about her except that she was very
She
talented
had nice boobies.
and that Siuan thought the only thing... No, Moiraine thought the only thing about her that wasn't perfectly beautiful was that her breasts were slightly too large.
Hey, watch yourself. Watch yourself, Maureen.
Which I choose to believe in the context...
I just think she was protesting too much.
I choose to believe in the context of the text that means larger than swans.
Okay, listen, this is my last note. I don't always stand these two, but this is doing it for me.
All right.
All right.
Chapter 8, Clean Shirts, a dockmaster's sky, it was called. Those gray clouds blotting out the sun, temperamental and sullen. Perhaps the others here in camp just outside of Tarvalon hadn't noticed the persistent clouds, but Siuan had. No sailor would miss them. Not dark enough to promise a storm, not light enough to imply smooth waters either. Are you picking up a motif, this book? A theme? A concept?
A gathering of
a recurring
storms.
image. Yes, that would be the one. The fact that everywhere we fucking go, the horizon is popping off. Things look ominous. Shit's kind of bad. It's rough out there.
Say what you want, but those photos, the photos you take at that time, it's probably amazing.
It's a jungle out there, disorder and confusion everywhere.
Okay, Monk.
Do you know what's in the water that you drink? Well, I do, and it's amazing. I don't remember the rest of that song. It's from the show Monk. It's great, good show.
We got married on a stormy day.
I was just thinking about that, yeah.
Yeah, and our photos looked amazing.
They did. It got all cloudy. We thought all day that it was going to rain. And
then it didn't.
We were like at the buzzer of whether we had to call it and go to our backup location, which was also great. It was very pretty. But we were like, no, we're going to go with it. It's going to be okay. And it didn't rain, and the clouds broke, and then it got overcast again for the pictures, which is perfect because it was all like soft lighting.
Yeah, it was nice. It was good
That's
pictures.
great.
All right. So, a storm is gathering.
Yeah, what the fuck happens in this chapter?
Two people flirt with each other.
That's a big part of it. That's most of it.
That's what I remember about it.
What's going on in the camp? What's the deets? What's the haps? What's the word?
So Lelaine
What's
and
up?
Ramonda are kind of doing this little like power struggle now that Egwene is gone and may never come back.
Is this a
and
new
the concern,
thing?
No,
It's
but
the entire their whole raison d'etre.
But the risk is now that Ramonda is the one kind of negotiating for her return, and she's getting everybody to follow her now. So it's like she's not as maybe potentially inclined to negotiate that hard for Egwene's return. Yes.
Is that what's happening?
Yes. Yes.
You sure?
Positive.
You sure that Ramonda
that's like
is
a
the one
whole-
who's winning?
Okay, maybe it's Lelaine.
It's Lelaine.
Well, whichever one is winning, I can't remember which one is which.
To be fair, this is the first
Name
time.
one difference between the two of them.
This is the first time there's been a meaningful difference between Ramonda and Lelaine in 11 books.
Okay, so whatever. Lelaine is winning, but everything else is the same.
Yeah, pretty much. Lelaine, what else does Lelaine have going for her? How is she sort of advancing her agenda?
What do you mean?
How is she getting people to rally behind her specifically?
Good policies?
Is that what she's doing?
No.
Or is she just sucking up to Egwene in absentia?
Oh, right. She's like, Egwene liked me better or whatever.
She's just like, well, this is what Egwene would have wanted, so we should do this.
yeah.
Egwene would
So
do
she's
this,
doing
so we love that.
everything in her
Egwene is the
name.
best. I love Egwene. I always loved Egwene. She's the best. Top tier, top notch, best girl ever.
Oh, and Egwene had a good idea with how to deal with this. I forget what her idea was. It was like, she had a really good idea of how to deal with this. And I was like, yes, that's brilliant. Fuck. Oh, how would I deal with this? Okay, so she was like, okay, if she's going to be that. Oh, she was like, let her keep going. Because best case scenario, right? I come back and just take over the policies that she did. If she's doing a good job, just let her do what she's doing. Because then she'd look like an idiot if she rose against me.
What is the status of the negotiations? Lelaine asked, not bothering to look at Siuan. You could go to one of the sessions yourself and find out, Siuan thought. But Lelaine wanted to be seen supervising, not taking an active hand, and asking Siuan in the open was also a calculated move. Siuan was known as one of Egwene's confidants, and still carried some measure of notoriety for having been Amerlin herself. The things Siuan said to Lelaine weren't important. Being seen saying them, however, increased the woman's influence in camp. They don't go well, Lelaine, Siuan said. Elida's emissaries never promise anything, and seem indignant any time we raise important topics like reinstating the Blue Aja. I doubt they have any real authority from Elida to make binding agreements. So.
Oh, yeah, they definitely don't. Elida has no interest in actually making an agreement. But yeah, no, Egwene goes, then just let her keep doing this, because then when I show up, she'll look like an idiot if she tries to continue to consolidate power.
Pretty much.
Against me when she's doing this in her name, in my name.
So they also talk a lot about Gareth Bryne, which we are going to talk some about, because it is the main thing of this chapter, is Gareth Bryne and Siuan's whole thing.
Okay, we played the game again.
We did. We played the game.
Which I said we should play some of it on the podcast. We do a game where Gus will mention a name of a character, and I'll say whether or not I think they're dead by the end of the books.
Here's the thing. There is not a lot for us to talk about in this chapter.
So we could play.
We could play the game a little bit.
Do we want to do that right now?
I think we should. I think
people would like it.
Play the game, but I'm going to put an ad break in a little early just so we don't interrupt the game. So We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. We're going to take a quick break before we dive in again to Gareth Bryne and all this stuff. We're going to play the game where I just say the name of a character, and Allie tells me whether she thinks that character is going to make it to the end of the books or not.
Siuan and Gareth Bryne made me think of that because I think they're dead by the end of the books, both of them, because they get separated at some point and they die.
Okay. It's simultaneously, or is it like one dies, then later the other dies?
Like, are we getting a Tonks and Lupin scenario? # trans lives matter.
Are we?
Maybe. That'll hurt me very badly, though.
Okay, well,
like it'll be some kind of twist of fate where it's like they get separated, but it's like not of their choice. It's like, someone gets between them or something, and it's they look at each other from across the battlefield, realizing that they got accidentally separated, and then they die.
Some grand catastrophe.
Some kind of horrible.
We see it coming, and they're getting pulled apart and buffeted by the winds of fate, and everyone's like, "No,
don't go."
That could be,
or something where she knows, but he doesn't.
Does he not know about it?
I don't think so.
I thought he knew about it.
Who told them not to separate Min?
Min told her, you need to stay near him.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. Something's going to happen in the chaos of something.
Is this an imminent thing? Has Siuan's plotline reached its conclusion, or do we have some way to go yet?
Once we rescue Egwene, well, it could happen in the rescue. But I feel like...
Battle against other Aes Sedai?
Maybe. But I feel like that it's not seeming like it's going to be a hostile takeover now. So maybe when the Seanchan attack.
Go on. I'm curious what you're talking about here.
Well, the Seanchan are going to attack.
Oh, the Vision. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So maybe that'll be it.
That'll be what?
When they die.
Okay. So not in the rescue for Egwene.
No, because that I think is going to be like everyone kicks Elida out.
It's just going to be democratic process. Never mind. Fuck this noise.
Or the Seanchan come. They find out Elida didn't listen to Egwene that was going to happen, and they fucking boot her.
So what happens to? Well, I guess
whatever.
If we're playing the game, what happens to Elida?
I think Elida, it's going to be another one of those let's teach the lady a lesson, but we can't kill her because she's a lady. So she'll end up a Seanchan, imprisoned by the Seanchan.
Get demonied.
Yep.
The eternal slavery over death.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think so.
Well, I guess if we're going to go down that road, we're going to play with that. What about other let's do female characters. What about Sindane / Lanfear? Because they're the same person.
I feel like a frustrating amount of the Forsaken women will not die, and she might be one of them.
I feel like Lanfear's interesting. I don't remember.
I feel like she's gone through too much at this point, where her death would feel like okay, you know.
Unless it's
I mean, it could be satisfying.
climactic, right?
There could be. I think Megiddian and Nynaeve are due a fight.
They certainly narratively are due a fight.
Yeah,
after
I think they're
everything.
due a fight.
Because the last thing we saw was when Megiddian tried to blow up her boat, and now she's been Corsuvrud.
Like, I could see a world in which Avienda and Lanfear, because that was like her thing, which was like, which one's Avienda? I could see a world, because like Rand and his boys can't kill them, I think, based on RJ. But now we have Brandon. Who knows what the rules are now?
Yeah. Well, and that's the other thing, because you're proposing things that are explicitly narratively satisfying. And we know that Robert Jordan doesn't always go in for narrative satisfaction.
But I think Brandon does.
Brandon usually does in his books. That doesn't necessarily mean that he goes in for explicit. And I'm not saying that none of the plots are satisfying. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying
I don't think you'd have me read these books if none of the plots were satisfying.
No. I would not have finished the books. I would have thrown them across the room if none of the plots were satisfying.
I know. So, yeah, I'm thinking if anyone kills Lanfear, it's Avienda.
Makes sense.
Or Egwene.
Does Avienda make it to the end?
Yes. Rand only loses one wife.
And that's going to be
Elaine.
Right. Who is going to... You came up with a whole thing. We were at a bar in Prague. C-section. You think that David Hanlon is going to...
I'm worried David Hanlon's
emergency
like the reason why...
or involuntary C-section out
Well,
the kids.
he seems like a creep. And he's one of the few people that has reason to know that those babies are not his. If so, and like, why would she like let them believe that and not reveal a baby daddy unless that baby daddy needs to be a secret? And it's like Elaine and Rand have been seen making out in the most obvious places and ways, right? And so that leads me to believe that like the fact that Elaine and Rand have a relationship is kind of an open secret. Not to mention Rand was like, let Elaine have the throne, which made it look like her boyfriend was handing her the throne. That was like a whole thing.
Right, which was why she was like, fuck that. I'm not about that life.
I'm like, now I look like a friggin' Nepo baby.
Yeah, not into it. I can take it from my mom, but I can't take it from my boyfriend.
And I kind of understand. I do understand that, actually.
That is completely fair.
Yeah, that's actually very valid. But like, he did that super publicly and loudly. So I feel like people probably know that there's something going on between the two of them.
Yes, he did kind of ham fist that.
So that means that if David Hanlon,
it's David Hanlon, and is actually, then he also goes by Doylan Mellar.
Yeah, I regret that. I just don't think that's true. But so, yeah, I think that then he has like a reason to know that those kids are not his. She has this whole thing about how she can't be like killed until after the baby's born. And I was like, a lot of shit can happen to you. / forced C from my crime podcast phase. Forced C-sections are a thing.
Yes, unfortunately,
they are a thing that people use to kidnap babies.
The viewing was that she will have 2 babies and they will be healthy.
So they're full term.
Doesn't necessarily mean full term.
Well,
it just means they're going to be healthy.
Close enough.
Yeah.
Close enough to full term that they're not, non-viable.
Sure.
So, all right. So they're full term-ish, right? 3rd try kind of deal. So, yeah. And I'm assuming they don't have a NICU. So... they're basically full term.
Natal intensive care unit. Is that NICU?
Something like that.
I think so. Well, then let's stay in this plot line.
Yeah, and I think Brigitte dies in
Brigitte
the
is going to be my next
to
question.
Save her.
So does Mellar just get off scot-free?
Either that, no, definitely not. Either that or Brigitte's mission becomes getting those babies back.
This is getting pretty fucking dark.
It's the last battle.
Yeah.
It's the apocalypse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm into it. I'm just telling you, we're getting pretty fucking dark with this.
We have had Pad and Fain squishing people's heads like melons for books now.
Fair.
licking knives.
There's been a lot of
raping
that.
wives.
He's been. Yep, that's true. He has been doing a lot of that.
Listen, I didn't mean to make that into a cool catchphrase.
That's
but
not going to be the episode title.
That
for
is not
going to
be the episode title. I didn't mean to make it into a cool catchphrase. However, that is exactly what he's been doing for several books now.
Unfortunately,
I look. Well, there's been some really dark shit that's been happening for many books now.
That's true. There's plenty of that.
Yeah. So I'm like, and those are some thickens.
Chonk.
Some big boys.
Beef. Well, then let's.
Okay, so Brigitte, I think, like, does this whole thing where she's trying to get the babies back, dies in the attempt potentially, and then becomes the hero of the Horn for that. Like reincarnates
Gets
into a hero.
back into
we get
the
to see it. It's all very beautiful. We cry a lot, I think.
So does she then get revenge?
That's why she becomes favorite.
She's not already favorite?
Oh, she definitely gets revenge. She slices and dices David Hanlon to shit. And she dies in the attempt. She does like a thing. There was some movie I watched one time. I can't remember what. Where it was like this guy's job was to get this baby. Wait, no. This might be Land's backstory, but I think that was based on
This is Land's
I think that
backstory.
was based on a movie.
This is Bukama.
But I'm pretty sure that was based on a movie.
I'm sure it was. I don't know what it is, but I'm sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
so she basically Bukamas herself, like gets those babies back, but is stabbed like 45 times in the attempt. And so she like bleeds out as she hands the unharmed babies to Rand, probably. And then she like ascends, and you see it happen right in front of us. She ascends to become hero of the Horn. We see it, and she says something like, hey, nice shooting, Rex, or something. She says some kind of like nice Brigitte catchphrase as she like ascends, and then like later we're looking for her, and we find out that she's been reincarnated, so we know that she's gonna like find Guido.
How do we find out she's been reincarnated?
Because they're like looking for her, and they're like, where is she in the dream world, right? Because she'd be there if she were hero of the Horn.
Oh, okay. So
and we find out that she's been reincarnated.
does the Horn not get blown in the last battle?
Oh, and she wasn't there, so we know that she's been reborn. Maybe.
That could also imply that she doesn't get spun back in, and that she's just, a
or
normal
that she
person.
knows she's being spun back in. I don't know. Something.
What?
That's what it is. Brigitte dies, right? Tragic, horrible, blah, blah, blah. But the Horn gets blown in the last battle, and we see her there. And we cry forever. We're going to cry forever, aren't we? That's what happened. Okay. All right.
Matt that was a chair, by the way. I want to clarify that
was a
noise.
chair.
That was a chair. I promise. So we get Horn Sounder Matt 2.0.
Mm-hmm.
Brigitte comes back.
Oh, we cry for. Oh, and he's the one who blows it. Oh, cry forever.
And he has some kind of pithy line.
Oh yeah. They're like do a little one of these, a little head nod, a little hey, drinking buddy.
Well, speaking of Matt.
No, he's good.
He's fine.
Yeah, he lives.
You've said that only you've narrowed down your potential.
One of the two Rivers kids has to die.
Okay.
I do believe this. And I've narrowed it down to two because I think Rand dies, of course, but then is brought back.
Right. And
And
you've
he can't
gone
die
over
again
your
after that. That's bullshit.
how you think that works before.
Yes, where he trades bodies.
You think he and who?
Moradin.
Moradin. Yeah.
Oh,
okay.
you're so coy. So they trade bodies, right? And so Moradin dead. And then we've got Matt, who I think is fine because he's funny, and we can't kill funny. I mean, we can, but under different circumstances, I think. I think funny dies earlier usually.
What if he just gets fucking stabbed and just dies?
Well, no, because he's going to lose an eye, and I feel like that's too much.
Sure.
Perrin is a solid maybe for me.
Well, Perrin...
But Perrin doesn't die until like way after Davram Bashir, Dira Bashir, and Tenobia.
Perrin,
All three of them are dead.
Davram, Dira, and Tenobia.
I can't have anything I want plus Fail. I think all of them become kings and or queens by the end of this book series.
Well, Matt's the Prince of the Ravens.
Right. And
Egwene is the Pope.
Pope. Right. And Nynaeve is Queen of Malkir. Rand is king of all.
Ilion, specifically Ilion.
And Perrin is the only one not king or queen of something.
Yeah.
So he's got to get the broken crown. We already know that it's in the vision.
This is also very in line with...
Which implies that Tenobia is dead. It also implies that Davram is dead.
Robert.
It also implies that Dira is dead, which means that Fail is the heir.
Also very in line with Robert's self-professed political philosophy. Do you remember what it is?
something that does not
really make sense.
He's like a libertarian monarchist.
That is exactly what it is.
That's not a thing, Jim. Like, I respect you, love you, though I do. That's not fucking a thing.
It is an interesting combination of philosophies.
It's not a thing.
I don't pretend to fully understand it myself.
Thing.
But you do you.
It's not. No, you don't do you because you can't do that because it's not a thing. All right, whatever. Jim, you're entitled to your wrong opinion. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just like, how would those two philosophies work together? I would have loved to get a beer with him and be like, explain to me, Grandpa Jim, how in the fuck those two ideologies live together in your brain. Do you just really like the idea of a king and queen because it's different? Is that it? He likes monarchies for other people.
I feel like the implication of libertarian monarchy is there is a regent.
He just loves royal weddings.
Lets everybody do whatever they want individually.
No, I think his thing is he's like, I'm a libertarian, except I love royal weddings, which that would be relatable.
That's fair. Royal weddings are quite something.
He's like, I do love a good royal wedding.
And then every once in a while they pop out another one of those kids and you're like, everyone's like, oh my God, it's another one. And we're like, yeah, that's often what happens. Not always.
Well, when you have an unlimited amount of help and income.
Tends to
you
help.
Can kind of do what you want when it comes to popping out kids.
Well, going back to, the books, we did Matt.
Well, I suppose before anybody comes for us, that I think they do have a budget.
Oh,
but
yeah.
It's like
they
a
get
ridiculously large budget.
The royal family gets some kind of monetary stipend from the government.
Yeah, but it's a pretty big budget.
It's a lot of money. I believe that is, a frequent thing that occasionally comes up in British politics. It's like, why are we giving money to people, or we should give more money to them? I don't have an opinion. I'm not British.
I have no opinion because I'm not involved.
Yeah.
But I do enjoy a royal wedding now and then.
So,
it is nice.
So rolling it back, you said for them. Matt too funny. Rand pulls a Jesus.
Rand pulls a Jesus, so he can't die twice. Perrin, that's just a repeat beat.
Possible.
Perrin's possible. Nynaeve, I think, is fine, but I think Lan may bite it.
That has been his whole thing.
If Lan bites it, then she's pregnant at the end of the series.
Valid.
Yeah. To hold on to that throne.
Valid.
Yeah. Yeah. If Lan bites it, then she's pregnant.
Does she need to be pregnant to hold on to the throne?
No, but babies ever after is a thing.
It is a thing.
It is a thing.
That is a trope, and these books did come out.
Which means that Avienda's probably pregnant with a litter of puppies by the end of the.
You know what Avienda is supposed to have,
or whatever. 4.
You know this. She's meant to have quadruplets. All
right, so she's pregnant with them by the end, probably. I don't know, because it's going to be like, oh, and there are babies in the world again, and it's like, okay, nature is healing. So if Perrin dies, Fael's also pregnant by the end.
Everybody pregnant.
Why not? Why not? Yeah. So, but that's just if their husbands die. If their spouses are alive, then maybe not.
Fuck it, we ball.
Then, that's for another day. But, and Egwene's the other one I think could bite it.
Okay. She kind of has a lot going on, though, I feel like.
I know. But the thing that makes me nervous is the perpetual problem of Gawain Tricant.
Well, how does Gawain play into this whole thing?
Well, because Min has had a viewing that he will make a choice that will either kill them both or have them marry each other. Right?
Right.
Well, that's a lot of faith to put on Gawain Tricant that he's going to make the right decision. Right? Am I right, though?
I would never trust Gawain. I wouldn't trust Gawain Tricant with my Chipotle order.
Exactly, Gus. Exactly, which is why I'm concerned for Egwene. I think that her pants may lead her off a cliff.
I certainly wouldn't give Gawain a sword and trust him with a baby like they did when he was 2.
Well, that was just an unhinged. Do you realize that I have a nephew who's 2?
Yes, I saw him yesterday.
I have a nephew. It's actually crazy. wilder when you know an actual 2-year-old. I watched my 2-year-old nephew throw a beach ball at multiple people's heads.
Yes.
Recently at a party.
He's got quite an arm. He hucked a cup. Like it was a sippy cup. It was fine. But
my sister walked away for 2 seconds.
He hucked this motherfucker. It was intense. I was like, you got some strength on you, kid.
Well, you know what astrology sign he is.
It's none of our business. Yes.
Well, I'll talk to you about it after.
I do remember, yes. Allie,
everyone guessed.
Did you move to California and become a little bit of an astrology girly?
Just like a little, it's in the water. I swear to fucking Christ. All of a sudden you're like, you know what? Maybe the rocks in the sky are magic. Like, I don't know. Who am I? I'm just a person. Listen. It makes about as much sense as anything else.
So we were talking about Gawain.
But Gawain, I see, I have some faith in the planets. I have no faith in this fucking kid. So Egwene might bite it just by association.
Trust Gawain to mow my lawn.
Like the fact that they gave a 2-year-old a sword is actually horrible parenting.
I don't know if they literally did that because somebody's going to fact check us on that. I don't know if they literally give him a sword or not, but they may have given him a literal sword.
Well, it's still insane. First of all, how can a 2-year-old swear an oath? They can barely speak coherently.
He might have been like 5. That's not much better. That's your other nephew. He's 4, but you know.
And my niece.
Yeah.
They're infants still. They are barely forming complete sentences at this point. I mean, they are, but like, it's not exactly advanced stuff, right? It's like, that's a cow. And you're like, that is a cow. Like,
way to go.
Way to go. Good job. You know, it's not, you know.
Sentences like, Randall Thor killed my mother because old Mill told me so.
Again.
There is a lot of that.
Again. Because I do something funny one time.
And they wanted to happen again.
I was like at the gym with these kids.
I know, I saw.
I was tossing them in the ocean the other day. And again. And I was like, I have fibromyalgia, but I will do what I will to make those kids laugh. I will work myself into the grave for those children to make them laugh. So, anyway, Gawain Shakan, so terrible.
Gawain is going to get Egwene killed.
I think he might.
How? Is he going to kill her?
I hope not, but I'm not positive he won't.
Is he going to die himself?
Yes. Well, if she dies, he dies. That has been established.
What about his brother, your new crush, Galad?
He lives because I demand it.
Right.
Yeah. No, he lives. He shacks up with Berlane.
Oh, well, Berlane makes it too.
Yeah. I think the two hot people live. That's what Robert
Very
wanted.
Robert Jordan. Very Robert. Well, I assume then, to go on the flip side of the hot people, with all due respect to this child, Oliver makes it through, right?
Yeah, I don't think we're going to kill the little kid. I don't think we're going to do that.
So then I guess in that vein, let's loop it around to Oliver's current plot line. Noel.
Ch8?
Yes.
Jane Farstrader?
Noel Ch8.
I see a world in which Jane Farstrader doesn't make it. He's old.
How does he go out?
In a blaze of glory, of course. He's Jane Farstrader. Though it would also be kind of ironic if one day they woke up and just like he just passed peacefully in his sleep.
That would be fucking hilarious. Respectfully to
goes out
to the plot. Just if it's just like, well, he's dead.
They rescue Moraine. He's like, that was great, y'all. One more great adventure. And I can't wait to write the book on this one. And then he just fucks off in his sleep.
That would be kind of poetic and beautiful.
It would be kind of poetic and beautiful. It's like, after all that, because sometimes you do get to die in bed.
And you know what? After all he's been through,
like,
it would,
and with 2 naked women at his side.
After all he's been through,
that's what I want for him.
It would be a clean death.
And a young nubile man as well.
Yeah.
I want him just going out
the polypan
mid orgy, like post-coital
He's
bliss.
earned it. Yeah.
And we just pour one out for him.
Yeah. Okay, so he does or doesn't make it. I'm still not really clear on where you landed. You don't think he makes it?
No.
And do you think he dies peacefully in his sleep, or does he die in some kind of badass?
I think he's the kind of guy that goes out in the blaze of glory. I do, but I think it'd be kind of cute in a way if he just was like, yeah, I just passed away in my sleep after another great adventure. Be like, oh, that's nice. But I think it's like what if he dies with the fin? He could.
In the rescue?
He could.
Could.
Courage. He's one of those go on without me types.
He is. Probably.
Like,
I don't know.
Matt loses an eye. He pushes Matt through the thing before the portal closes or whatever.
You were talking last week in Prague. We were talking about your Finn rescue thing, and you were kind of formulating new ideas on that.
I was?
Yeah.
Well, I think the four of them go. Snakes and foxes. Matt uses the Ashandarai to get them in and or out, right? Oh, because the Ashandarai is the cheat.
What?
Well,
can you elaborate?
Because Matt was like, the only way to win is to cheat at snakes and foxes. You need to have a cheat. And you can only win if you have more than one person, right? Which just makes sense.
Yeah.
So he's got to have himself and the two others, right? To get Moraine. He's going to lose an eye once he's in there. But the cheat, because he said to the Finn, I want a way out of here, they gave it to him in the Ashandarai.
Oh, that's why they gave him the Ashandarai.
Mm-hmm. Because iron is to bind the two worlds together. So he can make a portal with it.
Oh, that makes sense. That
yeah,
would,
just, carves a door into the wall.
Yeah, I see how you're getting there.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. It's the cheat. He has the cheat.
That's going to wreak havoc on the homeowners association if he just starts carving fucking holes in walls and shit.
Well, it's already wreaked havoc on the homeowners association because they're wearing people's skins.
That's fair.
I don't know what the HOA says about that.
I don't think the HOA is big into that. Well, what about Tom? Does he get kicked in the head again?
God, I hope so.
Almarat Moore sends his regards. That's one of my favorite jokes we've ever made. I'm Tom Maryland. Sorry. Almarat Moore sends. We're laughing at our own jokes now. We've hit rock bottom.
Yeah, we really have. I think he makes it. Yeah, I think he makes it. I don't know why.
Do we get the ship that you came up with 4 years ago? Maham. Does Maham
It
happen?
happens. Yeah.
How do we feel about it?
We have feelings. We feel about it.
That exists.
That exists.
Okay. All right. I hear you there.
Yeah.
I hear you there.
I like it because I'm right. I hate it because it's not Soiraine.
Seems fair if it is what happens. Well, let's now talk about Moiraine. Is she going to make it through?
Yes, because she's not dying twice. That'd be just silly.
What about Tuon?
I hope not, but yes, unfortunately, she makes it.
Okay. Where do we want to go next? I haven't done all the Forsaken. I would ask you about the individual Aes Sedai with Matt, but I don't think you remember them.
Individual Aes Sedai with Matt?
Yeah, you got the Jolene. I guess they're gone now, aren't they?
Well, you could ask me about Lyanna.
What about Lyanna? Not by the way, that was not shade. It's just he spends time with like Jolene and Teslin and Edicina and all these other ones. And
some of them are dead for sure.
Probably.
Yeah. Some of them are dead. I don't know if I know enough about them individually to... Oh, Shiriam's dead.
Shiriam's dead.
I do think, yeah.
Is she still a triple agent?
Liandrin, I think we don't see again.
Just a baddie.
I think we're done with her.
I think we're done with
I think we're done with Liandrin. I think we're done with Suroth. I think their chapters are pretty much closed. Padden Fane is dead.
By the end.
Cartoonishly.
Okay. Cartoonishly, absurdly dead. All right.
Lyanna? Loghain, yes. Lyanna, no.
Are you still feeling like they're going to hook up? Or is that kind of fallen by the wayside?
Unfortunately, I think that I was reading into their interactions maybe too much. I think they should. If I'm going to ship anybody with anybody, it's those two. But I think that I may be alone in that. But I think there was definitely some vibes. He was definitely jealous that she wasn't paying attention to him at that one inn.
Yeah, I definitely felt some chemistry there.
I just thought, he could stay alive for her. That would be nice.
Well,
I guess now he has his powers back, so he doesn't really
Ramonda
need her as a crutch anymore.
Or Lelaine.
Not that you know what I mean.
Yeah, it's the context of the books. We know.
Ramona and Lelaine, both dead.
Nicola.
Treehill?
Yeah.
I feel like she could get sideswiped.
What about Arena?
Who? Oh, her girlfriend.
Her totally not girlfriend.
Oh, well, it's the 90s and they're lesbians, so they're both dead.
It's not the 90s anymore. It's like 2011.
I said what I said.
Okay.
We didn't stop killing the gays until very recently,
That's
and
very
we still
true.
haven't quite stopped killing them.
That is unfortunately a trope. Okay. What about Masana?
Oh, she's got to be dead. Dead or enslaved.
Damon Dread?
Dead. He's a man. He was evil. He's dead.
Erengar.
Dead.
Even though Erengar has a female body.
He'll justify it to himself as he's actually a man.
Grendel.
Brain broken.
Okay. Who am I forgetting? Oh, well, Moradin, you
Brain
kinda
broken
talked
is like a revenge thing.
about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or Jane Farstrider kills her.
Semirog.
Because, the whole old man thing.
Yeah, the old man in Grendel's room.
Semirog, I feel like we're done with. I don't know. I want to not be done with her.
We're trying to break her still, remember?
That's not going to happen.
No. We're just going to write her away.
Yeah. They're like, she's in captivity now. It doesn't matter. I mean, I think they should break her out. And I think we shouldn't be letting these Forsaken women live, personally. But they don't listen to me. They never do. They never have.
Am I forgetting? Just because I can never remember
Rourke
everything.
and Amise.
Oh, sure. Rourke and Amise.
Okay. All right. Whereas I think the men in most of the relationships die, of the men-woman relationships, I think Amise dies and Rourke enters his villain era. Like, not like, turning on Rand, but like becoming unhinged in a way I'm here for.
Let me look at the most common POVs. See if there's anybody we're missing.
More gays, dead.
More gays.
Talonvor, dead, hopefully.
Talonvor. Oh, Varen.
Actually, more gays, I feel like she and Talonvor just kind of fuck off.
Sure, fair.
But maybe dead. Because she's like already surrendered her throne, so she's not going to like go back and try to get it.
Varen.
Here's the thing. If Varen is evil, which I can't, because I feel like people love her too much for her to be like evil, but then again, like people love Lanfear, so who the fuck knows? And maybe people are like, her being evil is like the thing we don't want to spoil for people. Maybe that's a thing. I don't know. But if she's evil, she and Cadsuane have an old lady boss battle.
And if she's not?
She might get tragic deathed.
How about...
Yeah, Varen. Though Varen, I don't know. Varen feels cockroachy to me. Like Varen feels like everyone else dies, and she's just like the last one standing in a burning pile of corpses. Like, what's up? What'd I miss?
How about...
So I could see her getting out.
Loyal.
Loyal writes the series.
Loyal writes the books.
He's Lord of the Ringsing it.
Okay. Just looking at...
Cadsuane's dead.
Cadsuane. Okay, Cadsuane's dead. All right,
dead. She came out of retirement.
That's true, she did. Egionin / Lielwyn.
Ooh. No. She makes it.
Tam.
She and Bail Domon make it.
Bail. Tam.
Dead. Yeah, he's too awesome.
Here's this chart, by the way, of character POVs by book. You will see that Memory of Light has 258 POV
and
shifts.
It's something sad. Like he's like, you were always my son or whatever. And we're going to cry.
Very sad.
We're going to cry.
Very sad.
They're going to make me cry.
Percentage of the POVs that are this is a Reddit post, character POV charts and analysis.
I love data.
Percentage of POVs that are the 6 main characters, Emmonsfield 5 plus Elaine by word count. Eye of the World,
Moraine's not included in
99%. No.
That's odd.
Great Hunt, 79. Dragon Reborn, 96. It's cool. It just slides down. And then by the time you get to Memory of Light, it's 50. That's cool.
Who else we got?
Rodell.
Okay, I'm kind of feeling like all the great captains bite it.
What
Because
about
we
your
got-
boy
we
and
got
mine,
Davram.
Agelmar Jagad?
Yeah, I think, you know what? I think all the great captains bite it. I'm going to decide that right now. And it's a bummer.
Sounds like a bummer.
Because we already lost a few, right? We've already lost Pedro Nile. That's one.
There's Pedron, Davram, Gareth, Rodell, and
Yeah, and I've already
Agelmar.
predicted two of those four are dead. So why not all four? Why? Let's just go for a 5-peat.
This is wild. Overall, most point of views, word count, Rand has almost double the next most. Rand apparently has 917,726 words of
Goodness.
POV. Perrin is the next most with 540,762. Then Egwene, then Matt, then Elaine, then Nynaeve, then Warrane, then Min, then Fail. Interesting. Then Avienda. Sorry, this is just really cool.
All right. Anyone else?
Oh, I don't know. Is there anybody else you want to?
I don't know. We can have people write in some
We could do that.
if I'm missing anybody. I think we got all the big hitters.
You want to hear something? You want to see something fucking wild?
What?
This is the Malazan Book of the Fallen POV chart. The character with the most POV of the entire series, Rand, has almost 1 million words of the 4.4 million words in the Wheel of Time. The character with the most POV in Malazan has 3.993% of the series POV.
Wow.
The second most has 3.318%.
Whoa.
And
It's a lot of bopping around.
it just goes from the, it's about 3.5 million words, and the most word count POV is 128,000. And my favorite thing is if you scroll all the way to the bottom, the sixth from the last most POV, number 448, is a character named Natarchus's Horse, who has 93 words of perspective.
Well, there you go.
And the funny thing is, I remember that part of the book incredibly well.
I'm sure you do.
Anyway,
You're like,
completely
oh my God,
irrelevant.
It's a horse.
I'm sorry.
Not irrelevant
We're
at
gonna.
all.
I wonder if they put the ox in there. Not relevant. Sorry, Malazan is a different thing. Doesn't matter
It
right
is.
now.
All right.
Well, we're gonna. Is that? Are you good on the game?
Yep.
Anybody else you wanna cover?
No, let's
we
finish
didn't
the
talk
chat.
about. Okay, we're gonna take another quick ad break, and we'll be right back. Welcome back, Gareth Bryne. Remember him?
Nope.
What's
Yeah,
up with
of course
him?
I do. Well, he gets annoyed with Siuan because of his shirts not being right. Something like that.
No, not exactly.
What happens?
He's like, hey man, you're doing a really good. Well, first Lelaine is like, I assume you have laundry or some bullshit, and Siuan is like, what do you mean some bullshit? And Lelaine is like, I'll just tell him to fucking leave you alone.
And Siuan's like, no.
Siuan's like, don't do that.
And I was like, Siuan, you have the feelings. It's okay.
I've considered on this, Siuan, Lelaine said. The Armerlin may have suffered Bryn's bullying of a sister, but I won't stand for it. You're one of my attendants now. I should think it's time to put an end to your servitude to Bryn. I shall pay off your debt. Pay off my debt? Siuan said, feeling a moment of panic. Is that wise? Not that I wouldn't mind being free of that man,
Why are we
of course,
panicking?
but my position offers me quite useful opportunities for listening in on his plans. Plans? She's like, oh, fuck. No, he doesn't have any plans. It's fine. There's nothing to worry about. So,
There's a lot of protesting here.
yeah, there's a lot of protesting, and then she goes and she thinks about Moiraine, to her credit, secrets and how she's tired of secrets dominating her life, and Moiraine died following secrets and everything else. She goes to Gareth's tent. He's reading by the light of a single candle. She's like, you dumb motherfucker. You're going to go blind. Stop straining your eyes. And
He's like, what's it to you?
he's like, I've been doing this my entire life. She said, oh, so your eyes have always sucked? Idiot. Dumbass. She hit you upside the head with a sock. I mean a shoe. I mean my lips. Not even didn't even react.
I didn't hear that one. Wait, I haven't.
No, you don't get to hear it. It's
Wait, no.
no, it's okay. I'll
Wait,
just keep podcasting. It's
Say
fine.
it again.
No, here, I'll play it back for you.
That was a good one. Well done.
Thank you. So Siuan comes in to talk, and he goes, you never did explain to my satisfaction why you broke your oath. She's like, well, is that not apparent? It's kind of a lot going on.
Kinda.
There are excuses. Oh, I know that they're true, but your eyes Sedai. Now, those are excuses. I know that they're true, but your eyes Sedai. You can cite 4 facts and use them to hide the real truth as effectively as another might use lies. So you claim I'm just a liar? No, just an oath breaker. That question drove me here. You know, it's why I hunted you all that way. It's why I finally swore to those rebel Aes Sedai, though I had little wish to be pulled into yet another war at Tarvalon. I did it all because I needed to understand. I had to know. Why? Why did the woman with those eyes, those passionate, haunting eyes, break her oath? I told you I was going to return to you and fulfill that oath. Another excuse. Another answer from an Aes Sedai. Will I ever have the full truth from you, Siuan Sanche? Has anyone ever had it?
Ooh.
When I was still and accepted in the White Tower, I was one of 4 people present when a foretelling announced the imminent birth of the dragon reborn on the slopes of Dragon Mount. And he's like, oh, shit. Oh, fuck. Okay, well, that's kind of big.
I mean, you know, at this point, that cat's like out of the bag, so she can share that info.
One of the 3 others present died on the spot. Another died soon after. I'm confident that she, the Amerlin seat herself, was murdered by the Black Adra. Yes, it exists. If you tell anyone that I admitted that fact, I'll have your tongue. Anyway, before she died, the Amerlin seat...
Oh, she'll have your tongue all right.
Sent Aes Sedai out hunting the dragon. One by one, those women vanished. The Blacks must have tortured their names out of Tamra before killing her.
Okay.
It's the same thing as with the fucking House of the Dragon.
I know.
Every time they're like, Team Green, fuck the Blacks.
Yeah,
I'm like, no, wording, phrasing.
Nope. Yeah, we gotta steer away.
We gotta
from that,
not
please.
do that anymore, guys. We gotta fantasy authors. We gotta come up with something else.
We gotta find a different color.
She would not have given up those names easily. I still shiver sometimes. Moiraine, So she does her whole backstory thing, and so you see, Gareth Bryne, I had to delay fulfilling my oath to you because of other oaths. I swore to see this through to the end, and the dragon has not yet met his destiny at Shaiol Ghul. A person's oaths must follow their order of importance. When I swore to you, I did not promise to serve you immediately. I was intentionally careful on that point. You will call it an Aes Sedai wordplay. I would call it something else. Which is doing what was necessary to protect you, your lands, and your people, Gareth Bryne. You blame me for the loss of a barn and some cows. Well, then I suggest that you consider the cost to your people should the Dragon Reborn fail. He's like, well, you could have just fucking told me that. Kind of would have been fine. She's like, yeah, you would have gone for that from a random doe-eyed girl you've never met before?
I think fucking not.
So they kind of gab back and forth, and then he goes, well, I told myself I'd only hold you to work as long as it took me to get that answer. Now I know. I would say that, stop, Siuan snapped. But don't say it, she threatened. I'll gag you and leave you hanging in the air till sundown tomorrow. Don't think that I won't.
I'll gag you.
I'm not finished with you yet, Gareth Bryne. She whipped the shirt in her hands, then folded it. I shall tell you when I am. Light woman. If I'd known you were Aes Sedai before chasing you to Saladar, if I'd known what I was doing... What? You wouldn't have hunted me down? Of course I would have. I'd have been more careful. And perhaps come better prepared. I went off hunting boars with a rabbit knife instead of a spear. So anyway, all of that. She goes, I will do my best to pretend that you didn't just compare me to a boar, Bryne. Kindly be a little more cautious with your tongue.
See, listen. He's hot, so it's fine. Now, no, it's not. But let me have this.
Otherwise, you'll find yourself without a maidservant, and you'll have to let those ladies in the camp take up your laundry. Oh, because he was like, hey, there's this girl who's doing laundry for, money, and I thought that would be cool. I could, pay her to do my laundry. She's like, what, I suck at laundry? And he's like, no, I just figured you had more important things to do.
Which she does.
And then he's like, I assume you have to go meet Egwene somehow while you're sleeping. She's like, what are you talking about? And he's like, you go to sleep extra early every 3 days wearing that weird fucking ring. So I assume it's some magic bullshit. Don't mind me. Do what you need.
That's astute as hell.
Yeah, but she has a meeting. So that happens. Great scene. Any thoughts on any of that? I just rambled out dialogue for 10 minutes.
I ship it.
I know. I get it.
I do.
Look, I like this chapter. I like that. That shit right there. Now that we're not doing the chasing you across the country thing.
Listen, I do. I like it. Okay, I like it.
So she meets up with Egwene. How does this meeting go?
It goes okay. She tells Elaine,
I know. It's been 10
tells
fucking books.
Egwene
It's still hard.
everything that's happened. And Egwene goes, let it keep happening.
Kind of, yeah.
And she's like, well, the negotiations are going poorly. And she goes, that's fine. I'm kind of doing my own little coup here, as you were.
She's also like, oh, yeah, we had a Forsaken in the camp. And Egwene is like, oh, fuck. Who was it? She's like, you remember Big Titty Maid Girl?
She goes, oh, shit.
Oh, Big Titty Maid Girl was a Forsaken.
Rooting around on my head all night.
Well, nothing to read into here.
That's a problem.
Good thing literally nothing ever fucking happened as a result of that. Sorry.
I mean, no, you got pop off, King. Truly, nothing happened. She got some headaches now and then. One of the least effective Forsaken of all time.
Truly. Bottom of the fucking barrel, and we have Baelal to contend with.
Baelal's plan would have worked if not for one sniveling girl.
Baelal was an inch from success. If things had gone slightly differently, Baelal would have been the most important Forsaken.
Justice for Baelal.
That's my hot take about Baelal.
That is not even a hot take, I think. That is a warm take because everyone agrees with you.
So Swan, Egwene. They talk about the Forsaken, the Ashaman bonding Aes Sedai bonding Ashaman, all that thing, and Egwene is like, wow, what a bunch of fucking bullshit.
She gets really mad about that.
Rand is a stupid asshole who should get his ass spanked over and over.
I'm like, you weren't there for the context.
You'll notice that both Egwene,
in the context of all that have come before.
Both Egwene and Rand are being very aggro about one another.
Too much. You two grew up together. You were used to kiss.
We shall have to deal.
Just get it together.
With the dragon's foolishness at a later date. Okay. Perhaps his men acted without direct orders, but Rand must take responsibility.
Okay,
men bonding women.
Taken responsibility for that. And also, everyone kind of seems okay for the most part with the situation, except for the women bonded against their will, which that does suck. And that's not great. But everything else seems to have worked out a little bit. Now, what Rand does need to take responsibility for is visiting.
You would help.
At all.
That'd be good. I mean, they are trying to kill him, though.
Well, now it's too late. But beforehand, he could have visited.
It's the thing where it's like, oh, look, the thing that I could have dealt with in 10 minutes that is now a real fucking problem because I put it off for 6 months.
Don't call me
and
out
now
like this.
This is not a you call out. This is an everybody, mostly me call out. I do this with every goddamn project I have. So, yeah.
Listen, we're all out here doing our best.
Lelaine has, with no small effort, become the most devoted servant of the Amyrlin who has ever lived. You would think that you and she were the closest of confidants to hear her speak. She's appropriated me as her attendant. And each time the hall meets, it's Egwene wanted this, and remember that Egwene said when we did that. Eventually, one of them was going to claw her way ahead of the other. I keep diverting her toward Ramonda, but I don't know how long I can keep her distracted. And yeah, Egwene is like, okay.
It's fine, because when I come back, she'll have no choice but to follow me, because now she's, acted as though it's me that she's doing orders for, so she looks stupid if all of a sudden she's like, never mind, I don't like her anymore.
She's banking on me fucking dying. I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah, I'm kind of winning here. Just chill for a bit until the Seanchan come, which they will. Then everything's gonna go to shit.
And then she wakes up again, the meeting's over, and she's like, Bryn is asleep, and that's soothing. And she's like, God, that's fucking weird that I find that soothing.
Welcome to a weird time. The apocalypse is a weird time with weird shit going on.
Shaking her head, she tucked the dream ter'angreal back in its hiding place, then snuggled down beneath her blankets.
Snuggled in?
She was going to put mice in his bed or some bullshit to get back at him for some bullshit.
Is she 12?
Yes, every character in these books is 12 when it comes to pranks. Remember this? She'd forgo the mice just this once. And that's the end of chapter 8. Thanks for listening, everyone. We have social media if you want to know what we've got going on. It's linked down below. We also have a Patreon if you want to support us that way. It's patreon.com/wheeltakes, and you can always leave us a rating and or a review, which helps a lot. I couldn't fucking do that when I was recording on the lawn at Malkirikon. I couldn't remember how the fucking thing went. Now I'm sitting in the chair again, and it all comes flooding back. What the fuck? Anyway,
performance.
Anything else, Sally?
Bella lives.
Thanks for listening, everyone. Bye.
Bye.